little story. I see Tristan's holding up a book. She must be really excited about it. Tristan, you can unmute yourself for a second and hang on. Let me see if I can. There we go.
Yeah, I got it. So I got caught up in this book, and then I was like, oh my God, the Zoom training. And I had to put this book down, but I was reading Killing Cancer, Not People. So good.
Well, thank you, Tristan. And we had a great time the other night at Urban Greens, did we not?
Yeah, so you went again? You went back today?
Well, I went back yesterday because I left my precious blue bottle, and so I went back for my bottle, and I had a peanut something, peanut butter. Oh, it was so good. Peanut butter and bananas and oatmeal. Yeah, it was bomb. Fantastic food. It was a great presentation, and we were really excited about that.
Good.
And I'm really excited. We have a whole, I see more and more people joining. I see Chris joining. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Hey, man, Chris, let's chat later. I want to talk to you about the hiking thing next week. We need to talk about that thing we talked about before, so call me later. And thank you all for taking the time to be on this call. We're a few minutes past the hour. I have a lot of information that I want to cover today, so I'm going to get right into it. Again, thank you all for taking an hour to spend with me today. My hope and my goal is that this provides value for you and that this helps you grow your business. And if you're not currently muted, go ahead and mute yourself. I'm going to try to get everybody muted here, and we're going to jump right into it. So most of you do know me. My name is Steve Beaumont. I've actually been drinking Kangen water for 4 years now. And in that time, not only has my life changed in virtually every way a person's life can be changed, physically, spiritually, financially, emotionally, my relationships, but not only that, it's the people's lives around me that I've seen impacted as well, and that's what's had the most profound effect on me as I continue to do this business and meet new people every day and see people's lives being changed by this. So it's very exciting what we're doing, guys, and to understand the gold that we're sitting on with Enagic is phenomenal, and we haven't even seen the beginning yet. We really haven't seen the true beginning of Enagic. And that's what's, again, so exciting about what we're doing. So what today's meeting is about is we're gonna start by jumping right into the Enagic business. If there's new people on the call, again, we want to encourage you to be inviting new prospects to be on this opportunity call because they're gonna get a different look at Enagic. So we're gonna go through the pay plan, but we're gonna go through it quickly. And then we're gonna very quickly recap what we touched on last week. We're gonna talk about making your list, finding people to talk to, and we're going to touch on inviting, because inviting is the core skill in this industry, as most of you have probably learned by now. And then we're going to take it a step further today. We're going to talk a little bit about telling your story. We're going to talk about how to create your story, how to construct it properly, and how to tell it to others. And we're going to talk about following up properly and handling objections. Okay? And then next week, we're going to tie everything together with building events. We're going to cover how to get new people started right. We're going to cover personal development. And I'm going to share with you all kinds of tools that you can use to help grow your business and help your team grow and duplicate as well. Because it's most important that not only we're getting this information for ourselves, but we're getting this information out to our teams, because that's how our business grows. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to get into today's presentation, and I'm going to go and attempt to share my screen, and hopefully we don't have any hangups like we had last week. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. Okay, so healthcare is our daily responsibility. We've already talked about that. There's physical health, there's financial health, and then there's the spiritual and emotional side, your relationships, etc. Now, who's this program designed for? First and foremost, income opportunity seekers. So who is that? What is an income opportunity seeker? Well, that's you. That's anyone that's looking to earn extra money. Anybody that's looking to put more money, more cash flow into their checking account, into their life. Entrepreneurs, people that have ever started a business, people that have always wanted to start a business, but haven't for whatever reason that we're going to cover in a moment. direct sales and network marketing professionals, people that have already been a part of a company. Maybe they've failed, or maybe they didn't find what they were looking for, but they have some experience. Brick and mortar business owners. These are the best people for our business sometimes because they already know how to operate a business, but they're sick of trading all their time for their money, and they're sick of not having the freedom. And then marketing executives have typically the same story. They have the financial resources, but they don't have the time. So this program is essentially for everyone. Now, what's the perfect career? There really isn't one, but there are 5 general types. You have blue collar, white collar, sales, business owner, and investor. We talked about these in more detail last week. Each of them has good sides, but they each have drawbacks as well. There's no such thing as truly the perfect career. Now, we talked about the rise of the corporation and what it taught us. It teaches us to go to school, to get a job, to work 40 years, and then to retire. That's what's been happening for the last 100 years. But the problem is it's not working anymore. What's the current reality? What's that look like to you? What's that look like to those around you? For most people, there's a lot more steps in this equation. There's go to school, and most of us have struggles in school. It's get a job. And then most people get married. A lot of people get married. Some people then get divorced. Then they lose half of their assets in a divorce. And then their liabilities increase. Maybe they have child support, they have alimony, okay? Then they have to go out and try to rebuild their assets with all these challenges that are trying to hold them back. So they end up working a lot longer than 40 years, and then they either don't retire or they retire uncomfortably. And we wonder what happened to our life. So that's what the real reality is like. We go to school, we get a job, we switch companies every 4 to 5 years. In the midst of it all, we work beyond retirement and retire uncomfortably, if at all. After 40 years, 1 of every 100 people following this model, 5 are still working, 6 of them are dead, 54 are absolutely dead broke, 4 are well off, and only 1 is wealthy. It's sad. Job automation, well, it's here. It's everywhere. Look around you. The jobs that we're creating are the jobs that nobody wants. A few reasons to own a business. Being your own boss. I've always wanted to be my own boss. The freedom of time. How wonderful is it for those of you that have been doing this for a while to wake up in the morning when you're done sleeping, to go into your home office in your bare feet with your coffee and not have to commute an hour and a half to work, dealing with traffic and dealing with stupid people and hearing the same rotation on the same radio station day in and day out. To live a life that every day is different, where you have new things happening, where it's exciting, and you're working with the people that you want to work with. Those are some of the advantages to owning a business. Freedom of time, leveraged income, tax advantages. You open up so many tax advantages when you join Enagic, when you purchase your SD501, you're a NESPA, or subscribe to UConn. You open yourself up to so many tax advantages. You control your financial ceiling rather than being limited by your salary or your earnings. The best possible work environment. We go hiking. We go on trips together. We go to Vegas. We go to the beach. We go to Hawaii. We play golf. We have fun together. We're not sitting in an office or cubicle wanting to stab ourselves for hours on end. And it's building your dreams, not theirs. That's what the title of this entire segment is. This is about building our dreams and not theirs. And my favorite is you get to create a legacy. Legacy that lasts through generations for your family, for your kids, for their generations. A lasting legacy. Now here's why more people don't own a business. Fear of failure, fear of resources, fear of experience or education, lack of opportunity. I like to use the word apparent in here. Fear of apparent failure, fear of apparent resources, fear of apparent experience or education. We have these things available to us. If we look for them, we can utilize what God's given us and use it to our advantage to take care of ourselves and to take care of our families. Now, why is our way better? It's simple. Startup investment is so small compared to anything else out there. If you wanted to start a McDonald's today, you would need between $1.2 and $2.4 million. at least $750,000 liquid cash. It's called a POF, proof of funds. And then you have to go to Hamburger University. So you got to do all this stuff before you can even open the doors. And then the average McDonald's owner earns about $140,000 to $170,000 a year, and that fluctuates. And the only way to earn more is to simply invest in another McDonald's. Here you can join Enagic for $2,400, $4,000, $5,000, depending on how you come in. You can structure properly for a fraction of what it is to start any other business. It's better for the company, it's better advertising, it tells our story better, and we get to do it people to people through building relationships, and we get to see the lives we're changing and be a part of it. And that's significant. When someone that you've done business with in Enagic calls you on the phone a year later, they're giving you good news. They're telling you how you've changed their life for the better, how you've made an impact on them. You don't get that in other businesses. And then all the advertising costs go to us. Instead of, do you know how many hands a product passes through before it gets to the consumer? There are so many. Our program is factory direct. We have our factory in Osaka, Japan. The only hands that those products pass through are ours. And we get paid the money that would typically be paid to spokespeople, endorsements, TV advertisements, radio advertisements, so on and so forth. That's going to us, ordinary people. Anybody can do this business. And here's what's exciting about this, guys. We're just beginning. And the money that is being paid out to people just like us in this industry is staggering compared to other industries. You may think that NFL athletes make a lot of money, but compared to us, they don't make anything. You think Taylor Swift and Carrie Underwood are making a lot of money, but compared to us, they're not making anything. The makers of Halo and all the video games, nothing compared to us, okay? And these are old numbers. These are 2013 numbers. $71 billion in 2013 paid in commissions to people just like us. It's incredible. And you've all seen the pyramid scheme. This is it. And this is your typical corporate structure. And unfortunately, the jobs that are being created are the jobs down here, the jobs that nobody wants. And then we have our pyramid scheme. This is our true health philosophy. Physical health, financial health, emotional, and spiritual health. A healthy balance of all three. We're led by Mr. Oshiro, our founder, our chairman, our CEO, a man with true compassion. When you meet him, he looks you directly in the eyes and asks how your health is. He wants to know how your heart is. How are your relationships? These are questions that we need to be asking people. We need to say to people, we need to ask them, how is your health? And let them speak to us and let them tell us their story so that we have an opportunity to then tell our story. We all know that our company is rock solid. The ISO sets the framework for all standards throughout the world. We have a very, very prominent certification from them, 13485, for the license and manufacture of medical equipment. All of the WQA, NSF, ANSI, we're, again, rock solid in our certifications. Our technology is patented. Our business model is patented, and you won't see this anywhere else. The way we earn money is patented. There's nothing like it anywhere else in the world. Our business has no fees, no qualifications, no inventory, no renewals, accumulative sales. You don't have all the frills that you have involved in other companies. I went to the office today. It took me less than 5 minutes to process an order. I'll be paid in less than 2 weeks for that order. It's very simple how it works. So you don't have all the gimmicks that you have in traditional network marketing companies. We get paid every day. If you're doing business every day, you're getting paid every day. There's 9 ways to earn income. Okay, our product line, we have multiple products. We have 3-plate machines, 7-plate machines, 8-plate machines, 12-plate commercial machines. Our amazing spa technology, our incredible Ukon, turmeric, and this is how it works, guys. Each of these products obviously have a different retail price. So our commissions are going to be based on the retail price of that product. In today's example, we're going to use the SD501. For every time there is an SD501 sold, 8 equal points are paid for $285. And this is going to show you what makes us different from multi-level or network marketing. Again, 8 equal points for every SD501. That's it, no more. On your first 2 direct sales, you're going to earn $285 or 1 point. You're a 1-point agent. Great. Now on your third sale, you're going to get a 100% raise, and you're going to begin collecting 2 points, at least 2 points on every direct sale going forward. Your first 3 SD501 sales earn you $1,140. How many hours do you have to work in your current job to earn $1,140? For most people, that's more than a week. Now, there's 2 types of sales in our business. There's direct sales and there's indirect sales, or group sales, as we call them. So we get paid for what our team produces to a certain point. Now, we're going to help the first person that we shared this with do the same thing you did. Get their first 3 sales. Just like you, they're going to get 1 point on their first 2, and they're going to get 2 points on their third, just like you did. But you are going to get $285 as an override on all 3 of those sales. 1 point because they're in your 1A lane. This is actually a 1-point franchise for you. Every time this person places an order, you're going to get paid 1 point as long as those points are available. The same thing happens with person number 2. 1 point on their first 2 sales, 2 on their third. 1 for all 3 to you. On your third sale, however, we're going to help them share this with 3 people. They're going to get 1 point on their first 2 and 2 points on their third, the same way you did, the same way your first 2 people did. However, you are going to override 2 points on all 3 of them because they're part of your 2A lane. They're a 2A franchise to you. If this person goes out and sells 50 SD501s, you're going to get paid $570 50 times. It's a very powerful business model that gets you earning significant income in a very, very short period of time. Now, I mentioned accumulative sales. Now, if you look at this, we've only made 3 sales, but our team has made 9. So we have a total of 12 group sales in our business. When we go out and make another direct sale, we get a third piece of that pie, because since we've accumulated 10 or more group sales, we're now qualified to become a 3A. A 3-point agent earns, you named it, you guessed it, 3 points, $855 in the case of the SD501. And you begin opening 3-point franchise lanes going forward. And this is when it gets very exciting. Also at 3A, you have now completely recuperated your initial investment. Let's say you invest in an SD501. You've now completely paid off your SD501, and you're earning at least $855 on every sale going forward. Let's say you've purchased an SD501 and the Anespa. You have also covered your initial investment in these first 10 sales for that as well. So it doesn't matter if you get 1 product, you get 2 products, or if you get all 3, you get everything we have, you invest and you come all in, you're still going to be recuperated at this point, and you're going to be earning a lot of money going forward. Now we're going to fly through the rest of this. You see, you're starting to see the picture. At 10 or more, you become a 3A and you start opening 3A franchise lanes. Now again, what makes our business different is we pay from the bottom up, not the top down. So the person making the sale gets paid first, and then whatever is left, however many points are left or slices of that pie are left, will roll up, okay? So at 10 or more, you're a 3A, you have a few people helping you, you have a team growing, and you're building fast. When you get to 20, you open up 4A franchise lanes. 4A equals $1,140 for an SD501. On a K8, it's almost $1,400. Okay, so now we're looking at real money, guys, real money. Again, how many hours do you have to work to earn $1,140? It's a lot. And you begin opening franchise lanes in that group as well. When you hit 50, you're a 5A. Now it starts to move real fast. Now you have a significant team. People are really helping you, and it's exciting. And this is when it starts to become consistent. And this is when a lot of people start to leave their full-time jobs, and because they see the potential of Enagic replacing and surpassing their current full-time income. I left my job at 3A. I don't recommend everyone do that, but I've seen people leave even sooner. I've seen people leave at 4A. I've seen people wait until 5 or 6A, but typically this is when things start to move fast for you. And your first major goal is to get to 101, where you begin opening 6A franchise lanes. You're collecting 6 points, and we're going to show you how to collect all 8 points when you're a 6A and earn even more. And what you're doing now is you're starting to build your team and create other leaders. We're going to fly through this part as well. 6A and beyond, you start opening up opportunities for bonuses. Education bonus, $200 every time a sale occurs outside your eight points. So let's say someone who's 10 levels below you, you're not getting paid for their sales anymore, but you're going to collect a $200 bonus from Enagic for being a leader and for helping your leaders make those sales. Now, what you want to do once you're a 6A is you want to create 2 leaders in your organization. And when you do that, when you help 2 other people become a 6A, you become a 6A too, and you get a $6,000 title incentive. And now you're eligible for quarterly incentives. And again, your team is growing faster and faster, and you're helping leaders grow and develop and move up through the ranks. Now, when they've helped their 2 people become 6A, and they themselves become 6A2s, you become a 6A2. What this means is you're a 6A who has 2 6As in your organization, who also have 2 6As in their organization. You have 2 complete levels of 6As in your business. You have a business of leaders. And this is the promised land. This is where we all want to get. This is all of our goals, is 6A 2-3. When you have 3 full tiers of leaders in your organization. This isn't thousands of people, guys. This isn't hundreds of thousands of people that you have to sponsor in some massive organization like you see in other companies. And we're going to actually show you how to cut a third of this off, the top third. We're going to show you how to structure and build your business properly so that you can earn as much as you possibly can right out of the gate. This is exciting. This is life-changing money. And $25,000 just for hitting this rank, and at least $5,000 per month as your title incentive or as your monthly incentive. You're collecting global profit sharing from global sales. So you're actually a shareholder in Enagic, and a very big shareholder at that. So here's the big picture. In 2003, when we expanded from Japan to Los Angeles, we exploded all over the world. And now this is what's happening. We're in over 170 countries today, opening new offices constantly. We just opened a new office in Dubai. We're talking about opening others in the United States. We're fortunate, for those of you that live in Seattle, where I'm at, we have an office here in Washington, just a few miles from where we're at. Very fortunate to have that at our disposal. And here's again what's happening on a global scale. In 2008, we were selling less than 5,000 per month, about 4,500 global sales per month. And when I started drinking this water, I remember the big push for Enagic was 10,000 units per month. And that was about 2015, late 2014, early 2015. Now, last November, we surpassed 33,000 units in 1 month globally. So now you can see the trend. You can see how fast we're going. And if you look at the product itself, where it's positioned in the marketplace, we haven't even touched anyone yet. There's 7.5 billion people on the planet. They all drink water, and we have just over 1 million units sold total. So if you look at that, it's 1/75,000th of the population we've touched. Okay, we haven't touched anyone. Here's where we're at. 0.005%. We haven't even begun penetrating the market. If you look at cell phones, they haven't even reached product maturity yet. There are people in the world that don't have cell phones. There are people in the world that don't have color televisions. There are people in the world that don't have televisions at all. So even those products have not yet reached market saturation. And we haven't even left the ground. And you see what an impact we're already making. You're in the right place at the right time, guys. Now, what we want to do is we want to train you to be professionals. We want to train you to do this right. And that's what this training is all about. But there's a catch to everything, okay? You must embrace a temporary loss of social esteem from ignorant people. What's an ignorant person? It's not a bad thing. They're just uneducated. It's an adjective. It's the condition of being uninformed or uneducated, lack of knowledge or information, okay? Our job is to educate those people properly, and that's what we're trying to teach you how to do here. We have 3 types of networkers. We touched on this. You have posers, you have amateurs, and professionals. We're not going to go into this. We all know that we want to be professionals. Those of you that are on this webinar today are professionals because you're taking time out of your day to develop yourself as a professional, as a leader, and as a person. Now, it's going to take about 7 years working part-time to become an expert. That's okay, because we're going to be 7 years older anyway. And all we got to do is practice it and treat it like a profession. Treat it like a business, not a hobby, not a part-time thing. Treat it like your life depends on it, and it will pay you like a real, thriving, successful business. The skills are very simple, and anyone can learn them. We get to earn while we learn. There's 3 elements to every business, and we have them all: the product and the process. The only variable is you. It's up to you. The product, we know the machines work. We know the technology works. We know that the system works. The infrastructure's there. The check's cash. We know it. The only variable is you. So we need to let go of our excuses and let go of our blaming and take action and take responsibility for our own businesses. Again, the 7 skills are simple. We find people, we invite them, we present to them, we follow up professionally, we help them own our technology and our products, we help them get started right, and we build events. That's it. There's nothing else. It's that simple. The first skill is finding people. Yes, it's a skill. Most people say that, well, I don't know anybody. Who am I going to talk to? Finding people to talk to is, in fact, a skill. Now, do I even know anybody? You'd be surprised who you know. Posers typically make a mental list. They have 4 or 5 people that they're going to talk to. And when they strike out with those, they call it quits and they give up. And they call their sponsor and they say, you know what, this thing didn't work. This is a scam. It's a pyramid. I'm out, and I'm going to go tell everyone I know that this didn't work. Their only chance for this is luck. Now, amateurs have a written list. However, they have this fear of running out of people constantly. Professionals, finding people is a core skill. They have an active list and they're constantly expanding it. They're constantly adding people to their list. Now, the secret to a profitable database is the 3 I's. If you've been on Carlos Gonzalez's webinars, he talks about this all the time. You interview someone, you see them as sharp, motivated, passionate. You have a common interest with them. You ask them questions. How you doing? What are you up to today? How are you spending your time? How do you like to spend your time? You like to golf? Great. Have you been doing a lot of that this summer? The weather's been beautiful. Really? You haven't? What's been keeping you from doing that? These questions are going to get gold for you. They're going to give you clues. And then we identify them based on those questions as a qualified potential business partner or retail customer. And we know how to reach them later. You get their phone number, you get their email address, or if you know where they work, you know how to find them. And then you introduce that person to someone else, to a video, to a colleague, to a third person, anyone but you, anything but you. How you master this is simple. You make your list as comprehensive as possible. Everyone goes on the list. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter if they told you they would never be part of your business. Put them on your list. Who do they know? Anchor. Find out who they are. Who are their social circles? Who do they hang out with? Constantly expand your list. It's always growing. New goals, setting goals. How many people do you want to put on your list this week? How many new people are you going to introduce to your upline sponsor, to me, to Carlos, to Dan Edlin? And get out there and network on purpose. Join a networking group. Join Toastmasters. Join a gym. Join something where you'll find other people that enjoy doing what you do. You'll be amazed who you meet. And you'll make friends. You can't lose. Skill number 2, inviting. It's the gateway skill. If we can't get people to see what we have, then how are we going to get them to become a part of it? It's the gateway skill. It's absolutely crucial. But we have to keep in mind that we are not hunters. We are farmers. Our goal is education and understanding, not to bag the next big distributor. Be empathetic when you talk to people. Don't look at them and see SD501 equals $ on their forehead. Look at them and see them for who they are. Listen to what they're saying to you. Look them in the eye and listen to their story and think about how you can help them instead of what you can say next to get them to buy whatever product you're trying to sell. Be empathetic. How would you feel? How would you like to be invited? And invite. We're inviting at this stage. We are not pitching. Absolutely no pitching. And I promise you that they will probably ask you somewhere in this process what it is, or to explain a little bit more, or for a little bit of background information. And we're simply going to say, everything you're asking is going to be covered. Or you're going to say, you know what? I don't know everything yet, but everything you're asking is covered in this video or in this presentation, or the person that I'm introducing to you is going to cover that, and you'll have all your questions answered. We're not pitching. We are not presenting. Now, the secret formula to building a big business is simple. Your ability to get a large group of people to consistently do a few simple things over an extended period of time. Now, the key to a successful invitation: use a third party whenever possible. If you're new, if you're brand new, your sponsor or someone else should be helping you make your list and helping you to make these invitations to an event, to watch a video, to meet you and your sponsor at the office, to drink some water, any of the different exposure types that we have to offer. Okay? Key number 2, emotionally detached. This is tough for people in the beginning, but because we're excited and we want people to see what we have, but it's also important to relax, to be yourself, to be killer on the inside, but James Bond on the outside, okay? Be emotionally detached. People know when you're after a commission. We call it commission breath in this business, and guys, it stinks. People know when you're after their money. They can sense it in you. And when you only have 5 people on your list and you're down to the very last one, trust me, you're eluding desperation to your people. When you have a huge group of people, a huge funnel, a huge database, and you're always talking to new people, you're not emotionally attached to that one person. And they can sense it, and it will actually have the reverse effect. It will attract them to you rather than repel them from you. Now be yourself, but be more confident. Have focus. Think about, pay attention to how you speak. Pay attention to how you show up. Pay attention to how you talk to other people. Pay attention to how you look, your mannerisms, your posture. Be confident, be bold, but don't be crazy. Just be sharp. Be a person of authority. Be a person that people are going to listen to. Be someone that matters, because you do matter. And bring passion. Be passionate about what you do. It's very important to be passionate. If people don't sense passion, they're not going to be a part of it. People want to be a part of something that's exciting. They want to be a part of something that other people are passionate about. If you're not excited, they're not going to be excited. So be excited. And if you're not excited, then get excited. Find something that's going to get you excited. Call me. I'll get you excited. Call Carlos. He'll get you excited. I promise. Okay, guys, the process takes less than 30 seconds. It's so simple. You're in a hurry, you make a compliment, you make the invitation. If I would you, get the time commitment, confirm the time commitment, schedule the next call or meeting, and then get out of there. Get off the phone, okay? Hey, Tristan, how's it going? I love your Facebook videos. You're a rock star. I know you're into health, and I have something that you're going to find phenomenal. If I sent you a video, would you watch it? She's nodding. Yes, she's going to watch it. Okay, great, Tristan. If I sent you that video today, when do you think you'd have a minute to watch it? I've unmuted you, by the way.
Tomorrow.
Great.
Tomorrow afternoon.
Tomorrow afternoon, great. So if I call you tomorrow evening, you'll have had a chance to see it, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, great. I'll talk to you tomorrow evening. I gotta run. Talk soon.
Gosh, you're so busy.
That's it. But it's important to be busy. You're in a hurry. You got things going on. People are attracted to that. And Tristan really isn't gonna, she doesn't really have anything to say no to. Of course I'm gonna watch a video. He offered me something of value. I didn't say, Tristan, I really, really, really need you to watch this video. I really want you to watch this video. I really want you to see this amazing water technology that has these plates and negative ORP and microclusters. And oh my goodness, you got to see what it does with these tomatoes. Oh, dude, it emulsifies oil, and it's just incredible. They're gone. You lost them. But if I sent you a video, would you watch it? If you say no, that's okay. I got other people to send it to. I got 1 million people to send that video to. But I'm only going to send it to you if you tell me that you're going to watch it. Not only am I going to make sure that you watch it, but I'm going to actually ask you when you're going to watch it. And you're going to tell me when you're going to make that appointment and when you're going to watch it. So you're actually the one making the appointment, not me. Okay, so this process gets results 80% better, and I would say even greater. I find almost all the time this works. And I don't know if Anne's on the call or not, but at the end, I want to have her share a testimonial, because we did this the other day live, Tuesday at the office, the Enagic office, where we did some role plays and we helped some people do this process. And I'm hearing people's stories on what's working out there, and this is obviously working. The pros are using it. Okay, so here's the new material for today. We're going to talk about presenting, and we're going to talk a little bit about objections and follow-up. So presenting, this is what usually scares people. But the reality is, if you're new in Enagic, you don't have to worry about doing a masterful presentation or demo. You don't have to see what you see at the spaghetti. You don't have to be able to do what you see at the spaghetti factory, or when we have some of the other people presenting at the office and in some of these big meetings. You don't have to know how to do that. Someday down the road, you're probably going to want to for your team, but in the beginning, don't be scared by that. Don't be intimidated. That people like myself, I love presenting. I love being in front of the room. I love teaching people about this. So let us do that. Now, if that's something that you want to do, great. That's the beauty of Enagic, is you get to be whoever you want to be. You get to take advantage of whatever skill sets you have and put them to work for you. I use Anne as an example all the time. She is amazing on social media. That's her wheelhouse, man. And she is going to take social media so far in this business. As a result, she has not only found her wheelhouse, but she's found a way to tap into it and how to build wealth in doing so. So whatever your wheelhouse is, find it. Find out what it is and apply it to this business, and we will help you do that. Okay, so things to keep in mind about presenting. You are not the issue. That's why we're going to use a third party. Why use a third party? Well, because you're not an expert. You're not. And they know you're not an expert. Chances are you were doing something different yesterday. Let's say maybe you were a plumber, and today you're a water guy. Well, all of a sudden you're doing this let's see, different example. Let's say you're an airline pilot one day, and then the next day you're talking to your best friend about this water gizmo that you're selling. They're going to think you're crazy. What do you mean? You were just flying planes yesterday. Today you're selling water equipment? Okay, this guy's no way an expert. So they know you're not an expert. And so why try to be? If you get stumped, you're stuck. You're what we call alone on an island with your customer. But when you introduce a third party, for one thing, they get validation from someone else, another human being, so they don't think you're the only crazy person with this water thing. And then they're talking with an expert because you put them on the phone with one or in front of one, or you've shown them a video by an expert. So they're getting the right information. So you're going to get a lot different results when you bring someone involved, when you bring someone in. Now, when there's a question that comes up later, or maybe you get stuck in a certain process, maybe closing them or getting them to take a certain action, now they're already familiar with a third party. Let's say it's Dan. Let's say I'm working with Tristan and I bring Dan into the conversation and I get stuck with Tristan. And she has a question that I can't answer. I say, hang on one second, Tristan. I don't even give her a choice. I'm dialing Dan. I have Dan on the phone. Hey, Dan, I got Tristan on the line. Can you answer a question for her? Sure. 10 seconds later, her question's answered. She has Dan on the phone. We have a great conversation. And Dan's going to help her take the next step of action rather than you. You're not an expert yet. You're not a professional yet. You're a professional in training. But you're going to let the person who's teaching you and training you do this heavy lifting for you in the beginning. And then you will, as a result of seeing it over and over again, be able to teach and train it to your people. It's the beauty of duplication, and it's the beauty of leveraged income, which we have with this business. Now, you're going to hear this a lot. The person with the marker makes the money. This is why you want to become a presenter down the road. The person in the front of the room typically makes twice the average of the room. Okay, so you want to be out there telling your story. You don't have to be a phenomenal presenter to tell your story. You don't have to be great at doing the demo to tell your story. You don't have to know the 8-point plan like the back of your hand to tell the story. And the reality is this: if I can do this business, anybody can. Anybody can. There's 4 key elements to your story. And it's very easy. Your background, what were you doing? What was going on? What was your life like last year, 5 years ago, before Enagic? What sucked about it? What couldn't you take any more of? The boss, the people, the time, the traffic, limited vacation time, the pay. I can go on and on and on about things that I hated from my previous jobs. What sucked about it? What really sucked about it? Get into it, because people empathize with that. But then your turning point. What happened? What made you say no more? And what showed up? How did this opportunity show up? How did Kangen Water show up? How did Carlos Gonzalez? How did Dan Edlund? How did Kyle Moons show up in your life to change it? Okay? And then your results. What's it like today? How do you feel? What does your life look like? Who do you work with? How do you spend your time? Okay, that's your story. Mastering your presentation. Learn your story, it's important. But be yourself when you're telling it and be realistic. Please record yourself telling your story. Call and leave yourself a voicemail and tell your story in 30 seconds or less. Sit in front of your computer, turn on your computer camera and talk to it and tell your story in 30 seconds or less. Stand in your mirror. Tell your story to your dog, to your mom, to your sister, to your brother. Just find excuses to get out there and tell it. And that's how you're going to build your business. And then learn the opportunity presentation. Learn how we make money. Learn to show someone what the first 10 sales look like, what they can expect from 1A to 3A. You don't need to know the whole deal, 6A, 2-3 and beyond. Just know what the first 10 sales look like. Have a basic understanding of our compensation plan. And learn these training presentations. The reason I created this presentation right here is so that you can take it and duplicate it and share it with your teams and use this. Anybody can train this. Anybody can show these slides to someone and read them. I'm not really doing much more than reading these slides to you. I just know the material, but I'm giving you the material. Tell stories that create interest. And being prepared, always be prepared. Be prepared at a moment's notice to talk to someone about your story. Always be ready. Okay, following up professionally. And this is where usually the wheels fall off for people. People will do a great job of making a list, making invitations. They'll even get 10 people to watch a video or come to a demo. And this is where everyone tends to fall, is the follow-up. Most people don't follow up at all, and the ones that do don't do so professionally. We're going to show you how to do it right. And we're going to take the fear out of it. So keep in mind, the fortune is in the follow-up. So yes, there may be a little bit of anxiety or pain or discomfort involved with following up or just picking up the phone for some people. I know it was for me, but I tell you what, it's worth the money because the fortune is in fact in the follow-up. And I can't think of a better person other than Dan Edlund as far as examples of phenomenal follow-up in someone who has built an enormous organization being a master at follow-up. So we're going to hear, maybe Dan will share with us a little bit more when we have a few minutes at the end. But we're going to power through this here because this is the most important part we're going to cover today. Okay, following up is so crucial because it's doing what you said you would do. Remember, when we invited them, we told them we're going to follow up with them. How did they feel if they took 10 minutes to watch that video and you don't even do what you said you would do? Do you think you're going to earn their business that way? You're not bothering them. You're doing what you said you would do. You're not bugging them. Stop thinking that. If you think you're bugging someone, you are. But if they're going to be receptive to you, if you think that they're going to be receptive to you, then they probably will be. You exude it in your attitude. You exude it in your voice, in the way you show up. Remember, the only reason for an exposure is to get another exposure. Most people are afraid to follow up because we're afraid of hearing them say, you know what, I really want to get one of those, but you know what, they're too expensive. That's why people are afraid to follow up. But we're not trying to get them to place an order right now. We're trying to get them to another exposure. We know that their answer is no. They've only seen one thing. We know that. We had to see it 3 or 4 times. Dan had to be invited to the spaghetti factory like 150 times before he even showed up. Okay, so we know it takes a few times. So we're not looking for yes. We're really looking for no so that we can get over no and get to the yes. Okay? The only reason for this exposure is for education and understanding. Okay? Follow-up questions. If you have a pen, please write these down. Have you had an opportunity to review or watch, or have you done what you told me you would do? Okay? They're going to give you one of 2 answers. Yes or no. If they say yes, okay, great. What did you like best? What you are not going to say ever, ever, ever is, what did you think? Do not ever say, what did you think? You're going to ask them, what did you like best? Okay, next. Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you need this in your home right now today, 1 being leave me alone, don't ever talk to me again. How do you feel about this? Or on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your interest level of putting this in your home today? Where do you fall? Where do you stand? Find out where they are. They'll answer you. If it's a high number, you can begin the closing process. If it's a 7 or lower, say, okay, great. How can we get you to a 10? What would you need to see to get a higher number? What would you need to see more of to get a higher number? Or what can I answer for you that would get you to a higher number? We're just going to ask them questions. They will tell you. And then we simply point them to the next appropriate exposure. Oh, well, I'd like to learn I can get this for free. Great. Let me show you a quick video that takes 3 minutes to explain to you how you can get your SD501 for free. Piece of cake. If I sent that to you, would you watch it? We're just repeating the process. It's very simple. We're just helping them, guiding them along appropriately to the next exposure. If they say no, I have not watched that video you sent me. Okay, I understand life gets busy. When do you think you would have time to watch it for sure? And wait for them to answer you. And if they start to go, well, you just stop them and say, I don't want to waste your time or mine. If you're not interested, I understand. That's fine. We're still going to be friends. But this is very important, and it's important that you see it as soon as possible. When do you think you would have time to watch it? And they're either going to give you a time, or they're going to tell you that they're simply not interested. And you're either going to put them on your 6-month follow-up list if they're not interested, or if they're not willing to watch it. Or if they are, then you're going to simply go back to our previous step in the process, okay? Questions and objections all fall into 2 categories, okay? Limiting beliefs about themselves, or limiting beliefs about the industry of networking or the opportunity itself. Regardless, we have to meet them with empathy wherever they may be. Okay, feel, felt, found. I can't drive this home harder. This is so important. I know how you feel. I felt the same way. Here's what I've found. You can handle any objection with this principle. I know how you feel. I felt the same way. Here's what I've found. I know they're expensive. Are you kidding me? $4,000 for a water gizmo? I said the same exact thing. I thought that was insane. But what I found is after I drank it for about 2 weeks, I was having the best night's sleep of my life. I felt better than I ever had. I had more energy. And the people around me started experiencing it. And it was the best investment I ever made. That's how you tell your story in 10 seconds or less. Okay, let's get into a couple quick objections, and then we're going to open it up for questions. Objection number 1, I don't have any money. This is probably the most common. That's why I put it first. Have you ever been in this position? I would like to think that most of us have. So you relate to them. Tell your story. I know how you feel. I felt the same way. Here's what I found. Defer to a third party, someone who has a similar story. Maybe you're a billionaire and you're looking for something else to do. Okay, introduce them to a broke person. It's that easy. Or you put them on a 6-month follow-up list. Maybe there are people that really aren't ready for this. Our job isn't to beat them over the head until they see it. Our job, again, is to be farmers. We're cultivating. We're sifting and sorting. Okay, so we're not going to beat them over the head. We're not going to damage the relationship trying to convince them. We're going to put them on a 6-month follow-up list, and we're going to continue being their friends, being that person that's compassionate. And we're going to earn their business through time. Objection number 2, sounds like one of those blah, 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 okay? Great, sounds like you have a story. Sounds like you've been involved. I'd love to hear about your experience, okay? Why didn't you think it worked? Maybe it was a sponsor. Maybe it wasn't the right timing. Did you put everything into it that you could have? Do you really feel that you treated it like a real business? Perhaps the industry isn't to blame. Your timing just wasn't right. Share an objection you had about network marketing or networking or relationship marketing, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you do, do not get defensive and go crazy. Do not start saying, well, Microsoft is a pyramid and every corporation is a pyramid and blah, 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 blah. That's ineffective. Meet them where they're at. Listen to their stories. Listen to their objections. Don't start painting a picture about every corporation in the world as a pyramid scheme. Okay, which brings us to our next objection. Is this a pyramid scheme? Absolutely not. Pyramid schemes are illegal. I would never be involved in something illegal. And then you simply go back to our previous objection. It sounds like you have a story or someone you know has a story about network marketing. I'd love to hear about that experience and help you overcome your fear or objection. Okay, objection number 4, I don't want to bother my friends. I felt the same way, but most of my friends are quite receptive to it. Most of my friends are glad I shared an opportunity with them. If you had a magic pill that cured every and all disease and made people immune to disease, who are you to share it with? 10 strangers or the 10 people closest to you first? Okay? What makes you think you'd be bothering them? If you think you're bothering them, you're probably going to bother them. Or you could say, if I could show you how to share this with other people without it sounding like a sales pitch, would that help you? And again, we just share our story. And last objection we're going to cover today, how much are you making? If you're making a lot of money already, this is easy. Okay? say, you know what? Through this opportunity, I've been able to change my entire financial future. I've been able to leave a job I've hated. I've been able to create my own schedule and go on vacation whenever I want and write off those vacations and go out to dinner and do all these things and go hiking and climb mountains and blah, 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 blah. You could talk about it. Or you say, you know what? I'm brand new. I'm just getting started, but I'm really excited about my future. And I want to introduce you to Carlos. I want to introduce you to someone that's been involved in this for 7 years and has earned 7 figures, and that has not only changed his future, but has changed the future of dozens and hundreds of other people. Okay? You simply, again, we go back to the third party. And be ethical about it. We're not making income claims. We're not talking about how many checks we got today. We're not talking about how much money we're making per month. We're not out there making income claims, but we are making lifestyle claims. We're making claims about how it's helping us, what kind of life we're living today, what kind of life we're creating for others. Because again, we're sharing. We're a sharing business. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and if you have a question, just type it into, actually I don't know if Dan is on. Dan, are you on mute? There he is. I'm going to unmute Dan here for a second and have him share a little bit about follow-up with us.
Steve?
For some reason
Steve?
I can't unmute. Yes, Tristan.
Dan's doing a demo right now.
Oh, okay. That's why I just see a picture of him that's not moving. That's so funny. We should try. Okay. So, do we have any? Are there any questions? If you have a question, just type in the chat window to me, and I can unmute you. No questions. No comments. Anything? Feedback, guys. By the way, if you don't have my information, please email me to get on communication for this event and all other events. You can reach me at steve@truehealthvision.com. And I can send you the recording link for this. Once the recording's completed, you can share this with your teams. I'm going to be posting it on YouTube as well. Now, next week, we're going to get into part 3. Part 3 is going to cover building events. It's going to cover closing. And I'm going to share cashing out with you. I'm going to share all my tools and all the tricks that we use. So there's going to be absolute gold on next week's meeting, guys. We want to make sure that we're inviting new people to be on this call every single week. Not just you and your team, but we want to make sure that you have your new people on here because they're getting a lot of different looks at Enagic. Make sure that you're on the Saturday morning 9 a.m. call with Eli and Jelena. Make sure that you're listening to the recording of that 2 or 3 times throughout the week. If you're here in Washington, we have our Tuesday training every week at 2:30, the Enagic office. We're getting into role plays and different scenarios there where we're helping you literally deal with these objections in real time. So there's events happening. We have an event coming up on Saturday, August 25th at Enagic. Dan Edlund and I are hosting a Super Saturday where we're going to have a business overview, the water demonstration, and people are going to be able to see some more interactive training as well. That's going to be from 1 to 3:30 on Saturday, August 25th at Enagic, Seattle in Linwood. And then we have some other big events coming up. The Spaghetti Factory on the first Wednesday in September. I think that's the first. No, I'm sorry. September 5th is the next Spaghetti Factory event. So guys, so many opportunities. And we have big events coming up. The Crystal Anniversary is sold out, but we have the Las Vegas event in November. So November 1st through the 4th, tickets are, I think, $180 right now before they sell out. But get your tickets, get your team's tickets. It's at the JW Marriott in Las Vegas. It's off the strip, so it's a beautiful ranch resort. So you're going to be away from all the craziness, but it's going to be a good, relaxing time. And the leaders that are going to be there training, the doctors that are going to be there talking about the technology, you don't want to miss it, and you definitely want to make sure that you have your teams there. Please reach out to me with feedback, comments about this webinar. I want to create value for all of you. Is this creating value for you? Are you getting something from the information? Does the format work? Is the sound work? Are my sideburns even? Something constructive. Tell me what's going on. Tell me how we can make this better. How can we help you and serve you better? This is all about you guys, and that's what we're trying to do. And we're trying to share this message that Enagic is all about love, and it's all about sharing. Guys, there's so many people on this call from different teams. We're not all financially connected to one another, but we are part of the same vision and the same dream. And,
hey, Steve, are you inviting a comment?
Hang on one second, Ken. These are, look around, you guys. These are your teammates. Let's lock arms. Let's join together and let's help one another build this thing and realize Mr. Oshiro's dreams, but most importantly, realize our own. Realize our own dreams, build our dreams, and create a lasting legacy for our family and our future generations. Yes, Mr. Balzer, welcome to the call.
How you doing, buddy? Listen, I want to thank you personally in the most robust fashion for doing what I call just nuts and bolts. How do you get from out of the chute, first sale, 1, 2, and 3A? Because that's where it's at. Once you've got that under your belt, your confidence level, your posture, you have experience, you continue on the journey. The brutal part, if there is a brutal part, is coming out of the chute, learning the basics, understanding you're not alone, that you've got a tremendous task force and net of security around you, and you're addressing it. For the first time in 3.5 years, my friend, you are doing what I've asked for, what I've tried to do myself, but my hat goes off to you because you're putting it out there. So my urging and suggestion to everybody that's out there, get your people on this call. This is nuts and bolts. This is how you get from day 1 to day 30 to year 3. This is how you have the vision of 6A and beyond. But this is the roadmap beyond on the way to get there. And Steve, you have taken it on, and I applaud that. So I'm all in.
Thanks, brother. Ken, I mean, right now, every hair in my body is standing up because that's what, just that in itself made this all well worth it, because that's exactly the purpose of it. And if that's what people are receiving from it, then we've accomplished what we're trying to do. And all I can do from here is keep charging forward and keep encouraging people to get others on this. So thank you,
brother. You're on the right track. I sure appreciate you.
Thank you, Ken. I appreciate you, my friend. All right, David, I have you unmuted. What's happening, my man? Oh, let's try this again. Hang on. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, what's happening?
Hey, I was actually just curious if I get copies of the presentation so I can study it.
Absolutely. It's being recorded, and once the recording's done, I'm going to publish it to YouTube.
Hi.
So if you want to, hi.
Hi, Titan.
So if you want the recording, just shoot me an email, steve@truehealthvision.com, and I'll send you a copy to the link, and then you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Which actually, everybody, you really want to subscribe to my YouTube channel anyway, because there's a lot of videos and good stuff out there you can be sharing with other people. But I'm going to be pushing these live on that YouTube channel as well. So you can just find me at Steve Beaumont. There's a picture of me. There's a couple Steve Beaumonts, but just look for my face, and that's it. Just subscribe, and all these trainings and everything's going to be out there.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, so we're a few minutes past the hour. I want to be respectful of everybody's time, but again, next week, 1 p.m., be here, bring your people, and I appreciate each and every one of you, what you're doing, what you contribute to our business, how you're helping the world, and may God bless all of you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.